Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. Here I am with another video for you guys today. Now, if you guys don't remember, if you guys haven't seen it, I actually bought this daily driver budget Civic build for like $1,000. And like I said in that video, I wanted to actually go ahead and change some things up that I found cosmetically unpleasing. First thing that we're actually going to start today is these headlights. Some people told me, I don't know, I just polished them out. Yeah, I could polish them out. They'll look great, but they'll fade again eventually within like the next 3 to 6 months. So I just decided to invest in a new set of headlights. I got these. Again, majority of the stuff that I'm going to use for the Civic build is either going to be probably from eBay or Amazon. These in particular I got from Amazon, and there's a company called DNA Motoring, and they make a bunch of like aftermarket replacement parts for like all Hondas and Acuras and stuff like that. And here we have some JDM style blackout housing headlights that we're going to be using. Cool thing about these is that they're extremely cheap. I only paid about 60 bucks for them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a description in the link below. I'm going to put a link in the description below so you guys can pick this up for yourselves. If you do have a EK hatch, I believe this only, and again, these style headlights, just keep in mind as well, these only work for 1999 and 2000 Civics. If you do have a 96 to 98 Civic, the headlight shape on this edge of the headlight right here is a little bit different. So these will only work for 1999 and 2000 Civics. EX, LX, DX, or SI, doesn't matter. So without further ado, I'm going to do a little bit of an install here for you guys. We're not going to do a full DIY on how to do it because of time. And shout out to my friend Will, who pretty much just let me use his home to install this so that we don't have to worry about weather or anything like that. Along with these headlights, currently the Civic does have HID bulbs in it, but however the ballasts are really old, as well as it's really bright and the lighting is all over the place. So I actually wanted to get rid of that system altogether, and I also got these from Amazon. Now these are actually called SEALIGHT, and they're not HIDs at all. These are actual LED headlight bulbs. These are H4 headlight bulbs. I believe the lighting is 6,000 K and 6,000 lumens of light. So the good thing about LED bulbs compared to HID bulbs is that HIDs last about 300 hours versus LED bulbs, good ones anyway, that last over 3,000 hours of nighttime driving before they blow out. So these are actually SEALIGHT, and they're pretty bright as well. I actually bought these for around $39 on Amazon, and I've heard really good promising things about it. So we're gonna go ahead and install these into the housings and then take these headlights out and replace them with these and wire everything back up. So without further ado, let's get into the install right now. As soon as you open up the hood, you're gonna see two exposed bolts at the top. I believe these are 10mm bolts. There's two on each side. However, there are bolts underneath these that hold it on the bracket on the bottom. There's one on the corner here and there's one on the corner in here. So the bumper does have to be removed. So you see these plastic clips right above here, right above the grill. We have to pop these out. So the way you do that is you take a flathead screwdriver, you literally pop them up and then you pry the thing up, and there you go. So that's the first one. Some of these will break, so just keep in mind that these are brittle. Take your time. If you have a plastic trim removal tool, please do it. And my buddy Eric is also here helping me out as well. This guy, man, went through a lot. If you guys don't remember Eric, we did the spacers on his Audi Q5, as well as, if you guys don't remember Will, me, Eric, and Will installed the AWE track exhaust on.
That was like what?
That was 3 years ago. 3 winters ago. We installed a AWE track exhaust on my GTI when it had 8,000 miles on it. Now it's got 112,000 miles on it. If you guys did not see that install video, make sure you click in the upper right hand corner of the screen so you can see that. We're gonna pop these off. On this corner of the bumper right here, after you take those clips off at the top, after you remove the four 10mm bolts, 2 from each side of the headlight. Now to take off the bumper, if you put your finger right in here, you're gonna feel, I believe this is either an 8 or a 10mm bolt. So you gotta remove that. It's the same thing on the other side as well. I believe there is 8 bolts that hold down the bumper from the bottom of the car. I'm not gonna get underneath there with the camera and show you guys that. Just gotta take my word on it. Look at any other YouTube video, pretty much you can see you can pretty much CD install if they've done that. So we got to remove that, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the side, remove the bolts on the bottom, and then pull this bumper off, and then you're going to see those 2 bolts. Again, I would never do this to my GTI, but a bolt down here and a bolt right here for the headlight. So let's do it right now. All right, guys, so apparently it's not 8 bolts underneath. It's actually only 2 bolts underneath, and I had 1 underneath it, and that one just snapped in half. But the bumper's loose, so pretty much now you can just, Eric, I need your assistance with the other one. Now we can just pull, you just pull straight forward, and the bumper should just come off. Hang on, I'm attached to something here. Oh wait, there's another screw right in here. Yeah. Damn, of course. Oh, there we go. Now I can get to it. Oh man, that's not coming out. There we go.
Watch that styrofoam.
The styrofoam in it?
Yeah, it better be. In your bumper?
Well,
look, there's a piece right there in your styrofoam. Right by your left elbow.
Alright, now you should be able to pull the footboard straight forward. Alright. We can just throw that on the side, it don't even matter. You can put it on top of the car. When you're looking at the headlight, you're looking at a few bolts, right? You don't have to worry about this one right here, I don't think. No, this is for the bracket itself. But there's one right here. This one's pretty bad, as far as corrosion. Oh, well there's no bolt in that one, so that makes it easy. This is, okay, yeah, that was loose. So there'll be a bolt here, and a bolt on this side, and then the whole tail headlight assembly should just come out. Any luck? Yeah. If it, you good? This bolt's destroyed, Jesus. You do not have to remove this. A lot of people I've seen in a couple YouTube videos have removed this piece. You do not have to remove this at all. So simply there's a bolt on the side facing this way, and there's a bolt on the edge here facing this way. So once you do that, I'm gonna lay the bolt thing here, and then I'm gonna just unclip everything.
Make sure you don't.
Now, this car specifically has an HID kit. We're removing all of that because we're converting it to LED bulbs. And this was just
easier.
That quick. The quickie.
So I'm just going to take this ballast out. We're not going to be reusing these bolts or this ballast, so this can just come all out all together. Now what I'm afraid of is that sometimes on these kits they cut wires to make it work, and I really hope that didn't happen here, which is okay, because if it does have like some type of relay harness, then right here we could just go ahead and do that. Eric and Will are working on the other side for me, which is awesome. All right, so we got rid of everything here. Now for the corner light, I'm just gonna flip this like this. For the corner light, you know, this is the turn signal / parking light. Just turn it counterclockwise, pull out. There we go. They did not alter anything. So they didn't alter anything with the wiring harness, the original factory wiring harness, which is a good thing. So this way now, the LED lighting system that I'm using, the LED bulbs, as well as the new housings, everything should be plug and play. Nothing, and I mean nothing should have to be spliced. Oh, that's gonna look so much better, guys. That's gonna look clean when it's done. If we look at a comparison, Eric, can you do me a solid favor? Can you lift up the stock headlight for me really quick? There are reflectors on the turn signals right here. Again, I really don't care about that because we do have an amber reflector. I do like amber when it comes down to stuff like this. So we did keep the amber. You can also get this in the clear if you wanted to. But again, with a red car, I have rear amber tails that I'm going to keep. I'd rather just have this design. Now, when you look at the inside, you see that there's not the pattern inside of here. There's not that many cuts and grooves to like reflect the light. But in here, there's a couple of more cuts going across to angle the light a little bit more around, differentiate. So the good thing about this is that when you put the light in, the bulb can go in multiple ways, but I am going to show you how to put it in an LED bulb correctly so that you don't throw the light everywhere. You can get actual nice beam pattern on the road. Car was hit before in the front because the bumper was cracked. Someone opened this headlight before and re-glued it, but apparently they didn't do a good job. So there's all water on the bottom of it. So new headlights, freshly sealed, good to go. Anti-moist. So So H4s use the same housing for Highbeam and Lowbeam. So this is just a regular bulb and it turns the ballast off for the HIDs. I hate that. You have regular lights for high beams, but you have HIDs for low beams. So I don't really like that design. It didn't work out well for me, but I actually wanted to go ahead and modify this so that I can go ahead and so that's why I said the LEDs have 2 sets of LED brightness for 6,000, so it's going to look a lot cleaner and everything else. I'm just going to have to take this out of the grommet because you are going to have to reuse these grommets when you're putting in the headlights. So let's do that right now. All right, guys. So here we do have, like I said, the new housings. So I'm only going to show you this on one side, obviously, just because it's just, you know, obviously the same thing going to be on both sides. So we just changed these bulbs. When I got the car, one of the bulbs was white and one of the bulbs was orange. So I just picked up another set for like $5 and replaced both of them. So we got fresh bulbs in the front and rear. And I got a little surprise where you got a little bit of a bonus feature at the end of this video, what I did with the rear of the car later on as we were doing this. So we're going to pull these tabs off. Now, you see this clip here? This clip actually holds in your bulb, but when you're installing LED bulbs, you have to be very, there's a different procedure on how to install LED bulbs, and I'm going to show you guys how now. So, from SEALIGHT, when you get the kit, here, you extend your warranty for 6 months. You have zip ties for the drivers, and you also have double-sided tape. I have double-sided tape, which is what I'll be using. I won't need the zip ties. Maybe the zip ties I'll use for, like, you know, wiring harnesses and stuff like that. All right, so here are the bulbs, right? I'm going to take everything out. LEDs don't get damaged when you touch them. Oh, they come with gloves. All right. All right, so I'm going to show you one of these lights right now. So as you guys can see, these are the LED bulbs. There's these 6. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, wow, this camera's amazing. So these are 6. So there's 6 bricks on each side of this. Now, when you're installing the light into the housing, you see these two little fins. Hang on, I'm gonna see if you can see those 2 little fins right here on the top. These have to be facing up in the bulb. So if you're putting the bulb in, these flaps have to be down, pointing up. So I'm gonna show you how, and then also to make sure that you install these correctly, you can actually slide these out, and then you put this adapter in first, you clip it in, and then you put the bulb in afterwards. Okay, when you're installing these back in, hang on, there we go. You want these 2 prongs facing down. These is the vent, like, you know, air and stuff, like, you know, out of the headlight, so that this way you don't get condensation, you don't get water accidentally trapped inside of the headlight. So make sure these 2 little nipples right here are facing down when you put everything back in. And so there's certain ways that you can install this thing. You see these little prongs right here? You just place it in.
Focus at all.
It's not?
Your hands.
Oh yeah, my hand's in the way. All right, well, hang on. I'm actually going to do this off camera, and then I'll show you how I did it. So that little prong thing, bend it back just a little bit so that this way it's easier, so you don't put so much tension on this plastic piece. See how I broke apart the LED? I put the LED in, I put the adapter piece in first, and then clipped it in place. So now what you're going to do is, you're going to take your rubber grommet, this thing right here, and you're going to do this. Remember, the nipples of this have to be facing down. And you even see it up here. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but the word up here says top and bottom. So you have to really make sure that you snug that on top. And then when you put the housings in, when you put the bulbs in the housings, Will, can you help me hold this really quickly again? When you put these in here, remember, to aim these correctly, you want these little things right here on the bottom, like this. So you want these flaps facing up. This reflects the light up into the housing. So just be mindful. It's going to be a little tough just because you're trying to get so much clearance. So these are the fans right here for it, and everything should be good now. So now we got the bulb in place. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you guys are not going to see that. Oh, wait, you can. Hang on, let me go back to that image. Clear it, clear it. All right, I can't show you guys. I just had it for a split second. But those prongs, it only goes in one way. You can install it upside down. So just trial, we test fitted it without the dust boot first. So pretty much when you're all said and done with the housing, this is what it's going to look like. That's the LED bulb. This is the back of it. This is the fan to keep everything cool. And these are the fins for it. The bulb is inside. The driver and everything's going to sit outside. and the dust boot is going to sit on the outside to protect it. Nipples on the bottom, the word on the top says top right here. Now what we can do is we can actually go ahead and angle this in, and then we can go ahead and mount everything so we can figure out where everything's going to go. All right, so now what we're going to do is, so everything with the LED is put in. Now we're going to take this one off. This is going to be for your, this one's going to be for your parking light. Remember those bulbs I recently changed?
Adjustments right here.
Oh, is that what that is? Yeah, sure.
So I'm just gonna
twist it.
I'm just gonna plug these in just to see if everything works.
It's meant to twist here for the screwdriver. I'll
Yeah.
show you.
Adjust it now.
So you're going like
Okay, so we got turn signal,
over. So you come in from the top.
and then we got the plug
Adjust it.
for
Finally.
the actual headlight. Everything should work perfectly.
Oh my god.
God, these are bright. High beams.
Jesus Christ. This hot.
Oh,
Fancy.
that's cool.
Flicker it.
Flicker it?
Police lights. Headlight.
No, like flicker the high beams. Okay, so they work like normal high beams. Okay, so turn them off. All right, so the cool thing, one of the reasons why, as you guys can just see, when I just put the lights on, I just turn them on, they're on instantly. The thing about HIDs is when you turn them on, they take a minute, they get really dim first, and then they take time to warm up. When you're trying to, like I said, when you're going into a tunnel, the thing about it is like, well, cars with automatic headlights, for instance, this doesn't have it. But if you're going in and out of tunnels and the HIDs didn't warm up yet, that's how they blow out. So, okay, one thing that we did notice, it seems like when you're putting aftermarket headlights in, they will work. But my point of reference is aesthetics, so I really want to line my lights up to the actual fender first. So I did that, and I'm going to loosen these bolts up now on both sides. So now the bracket is getting loose, and you should be able to adjust this bracket accordingly and then retighten it. So, all right, guys. So here we go. So now we have the housings in. Mind you, a couple of things that a little bit of quirks. So remember when I told you when you're taking everything out, don't mess with this bracket? You are going to have to loosen these up because these are aftermarket headlights. They are not OEM, which means they're not going to fit extremely perfect in there. Like there are some gaps right here against the fender. If you really are concerned about it, you can like trim and like really make it look, try to like do your best. It's a $1,000 car. From up close, you're going to notice it. From afar, you're not going to notice it. For me, this is perfect. So I did loosen these brackets. This bolt and this bolt right here, you can actually lift up, and this pushes against the headlights. So now the headlights don't have much movement, and these tabs will kind of push down. If you actually push the tabs up on them a little bit, it pushes against the headlights so that this way you don't have to worry about it. Overall, compared to these chrome OEM taillights, and these are actually really bright. As you can see, Eric is actually hitting the high beams on right now, and it makes a huge difference in my opinion. Will agrees. Everybody, I love them. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. And a good it's instant, right? So that instant light, as soon as you're off and on, there's no time to warm up. There's no need for any of that. And now this is where the industry is moving more to LED lights. And they do offer you a 6-month warranty with SEALIGHT. Again, I will put the housings and the LED bulbs in the LED headlight bulbs in the description below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you use my code on the bottom, you get to contribute to JR14's YouTube channel. There's definitely going to be more stuff with eBay and Amazon stuff on the Civic coming up. So now we're going to wrap everything up. But before we go, and before I close the video out, I want to take you to the rear of the car because we did something pretty cool in the rear that I think you guys, well, some of you guys are, you know, not everybody's perfect on YouTube, so some of you guys are gonna hate it, some of you guys are gonna like it. So I'm gonna take it to the rear of the car right now, and I'm gonna show you what's up. So let's go.
Where's roll card?
There you go. No, I can go to the back here. All right. So we changed. Here's my bumper right here. All right. So we did all new lighting in the rear. So you can see we did different LED bulbs here. We found out that these worked and the other ones didn't, so I have to change those. The new LED lights with the brake light. Wow, those are really bright at night. All right, Eric, give me some reverse lights. Wow. And as you guys know, I have amber turn signals, but when you hit the turn signals, they're red, so they all match. Hit the hazards for me. That looks freaking sick. It looks like an 03 series, like no.
Emergency brake lights?
But this is definitely pretty cool. Reverse lights again. Oh, and you guys have noticed I also did the license plate bulbs as well. Everything did work out pretty well, and don't worry. This is awesome. So one step closer to making it a little bit of a more modern car for 2020. And yeah, so let's put this bumper on. I'm gonna close out this video.
I said it's fucking dope, bro.
All right, guys. So here we are. Everything's finally put back together. We got the bumper. Actually, we got pretty lucky. We didn't have to do much. We didn't have to align the bumper at all. Really, everything pretty much fell into place. I would just say, just keep that in mind when installing these headlights. Make sure that you spend some time with those brackets because you will have to readjust them to make sure that you support the housing from the bottom end.
Alright guys, welcome back to the conclusion of this episode of JR14.
I'm putting it in. I'm putting it in there. Yes, I am.
Alright, we're gonna delete this.
Be single. No, it's a whole clip. You can't delete it. No, don't delete it. Don't. So if you did like this video, if you do like these headlights, you do like this video, again, we're gonna do more budget build stuff like this. These headlights make the front end look a little bit more modern and also a little JDM classic a little bit. But if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to JR14. You guys always remember when we put brand new headlights on a $1,000 budget build to make the car look a little bit more better, maybe? It still looks a little rough, but we're gonna get to that. You guys always remember that cars are a lifestyle.